Waking Up Singapore. Gotta get up. The Big Show on Kiss 92. Gotta get up.
Good morning, Singapore, and welcome to the biggest and best breakfast show here in Singapore. We are The Big Show, Glenn, Angel, the Flying Dutchman, and this morning we have a good friend of ours. His name is Paul T. He's certified by the Specialty Coffee Association of America. He is a lead instructor. He's done so much when it comes to coffee. I do believe over 10 years now, if I'm not mistaken. Mm-hmm. He is, as I mentioned, Paul T, our coffee consultant. Good morning, Paul.
Morning, Glenn.
Good morning.
Good
morning,
guys.
I mean, on top of all that, he's also a national barista judge. You judge for the national barista competitions as well as the national latte art competitions.
Yes, correct.
And you went from music to coffee. How did that work out?
Every time when I do music, right, then when I have a break, I would like to have a cup of coffee.
Okay.
Right? So then I bought a coffee machine. Out of curiosity, why don't I just make my coffee at home? And of course, at that time, very bodo. I bought a super automatic.
Okay.
Yeah, but after I made the coffee, it's terrible. I cannot control the coffee. I just press the button. After some time when you have no control.
Yeah.
Just like you're driving an automatic car.
Okay.
You don't have control over it. So I basically went to do some research, and I made better coffee by buying a different machine, better machine.
Okay, so what machine did you move on to? So from an automatic, what did you...
I bought
When you say automatic, are you talking about like the capsule machines?
No. It's like when you
automatic.
pour the coffee beans in there.
Okay.
And then you just press one button.
Okay.
Whether it's espresso
Yeah.
or a long black.
Oh, like the
and
machines
then
you see in
blends it down.
in coffee houses and
Yeah.
hotels.
Yeah.
Right.
That
Correct,
sounds
correct.
interesting, though.
Why?
Because I'm lazy. So for lazy people like me, that's okay, lah.
Lazy, less espresso lah.
Yeah, because making a good cup of coffee is not a lazy thing. It's a lot of work that goes
a lot
into
of
it,
work.
right?
Yeah, actually, there's two kinds of coffee folks. The one like Glenn, like
lazy.
Don't say I press a button.
you want something simple. Either you go for capsule coffee, or you go for a Nescafe kind of coffee, or
Instant
you go,
coffee.
or you go for a 3-in-1, 2-in-1 kind of coffee. Yeah.
Yeah. But if you want a good coffee,
You want good coffee, you got to buy a proper grinder. You got to buy a good espresso machine that you can have control, and also good coffee beans.
okay, beans. Want to
Okay,
talk about
beans.
beans?
Let's talk about beans. Let's continue this conversation on the Big Show TV, shall we? We are with Paul T, our coffee consultant. Of course, as Angel mentioned early on, when we first got to know Paul, he was a producer, an executive producer, DJ, and we used to play his music over the airwaves all the time. But today, we're talking about everything coffee because everyone loves coffee. Charlie XCX is next, and Sam Smith. This is In the City on Kiss 92. All right.
So let's talk about coffee beans. I mean, there's Robusta, there's Arabica, there's Panama Geisha, there's Bourbon, there's Liberica.
There's Luwak.
How
There's
do
Luwak,
we
yeah.
know what's good, or why do people get drawn to certain kind of beans?
Okay, so let's talk about Robusta coffee.
Okay.
Okay, Robusta coffee, the reason why it's called Robusta is because it's very robust. It's grown on lowland. So whether it's storm, heavy rain and stuff like that, it can survive.
Okay.
And that is the traditional coffee that we have been drinking, the Singapore traditional Nanyang coffee.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
okay.
right,
yeah, yeah.
okay. So the ones in the coffee shop are Robusta beans.
In the
Typically.
our old typical
Do
coffee
you say
shop.
traditional Nanyang coffee?
Yes.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
So
why
what they
is
do-
it so big though? I'm trying to understand like the word Nanyang. When you call when we hear Nanyang
When you
coffee,
use the term,
what's the
yeah.
history behind that?
I think from what I know, it's basically the old traditional Chinese Hainanese way of making coffee.
I see.
So they roast the coffee till it's very dark.
Okay.
And then the reason why they do it dark is because they roast it fast, high temperature, and faster output.
Okay.
So these guys are, they probably run their own coffee shop, and then they get someone to roast it, or they roast it themselves.
Right.
And they have to do it at a very
Quick,
high
yeah.
output, very fast and quick.
Right.
So they set very high temperatures. When you set very high temperatures, you kill all the flavors, you kill all the sugars.
Oh.
So all you get is bitter notes.
Right.
Ah,
and this is the
okay.
kopi O. that we
Kopi-O.
get.
So what they do to counter it is to, let's
Add
put
sugar.
sugar and butter or margarine.
Which is
But of
what
course,
they
butter
roast it
expensive.
in, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They throw it in and then
And
they,
chicory and all that as
Yeah.
well, from what I hear.
So is that why they add the condensed milk and they evaporate? Because they have taken away the sugars from the natural sugars from the beans?
Yep.
But some people just have it black. What?
Yeah.
Yes,
Kopi
that's
O,
true as
kosong
well. Yes,
one,
that's
yeah.
true
you know.
as well. Yeah.
But I have to say the flavor is so unique, right? I mean,
Yep.
nothing else out there tastes like
No.
a
Yeah.
kopi O.
Yeah. You can tell if you watch the uncle doing it, okay, he's actually diluting the coffee. He's not giving you the full extraction of the coffee.
Too gao, is it?
Yeah, it's too gao.
Oh.
And then when you go to a coffee shop, right, this kind of coffee, this goes back to later on when we talk about coffee. It's a science. You cannot run away from it. So sometimes you go to the kopitiam, right, you drink the kopi O. Hey, why today one so sour? Hey, today one is flavorful. The reason is because there could be two possibilities. The uncle had actually made that coffee and he left it there for a while. Temperature drops, acidity comes up.
So it becomes more bitter?
Sour.
Sour, right?
And,
okay.
and what's worse is many people have stomach issues, right? You know, how many people say, "Oh, I hope the coffee is not acidic," like what Paul just mentioned,
Yeah,
right?
the
Makes a lot of
acidity goes
sense.
higher.
The reason a coffee is acidic could be because someone has left it out
Yeah.
For too long.
For
for
too
a
long.
while. Or even if you know, for most people, it's so hot, right? The coffee. You sit down, you talk to your friends, you leave it out. The longer you leave it out, the more acidic it gets.
Yeah.
But that's the total opposite for cold brew, right? Because if you cold brew a coffee, it
There's no
brings the
temperature.
acidity down.
There's no hot temperature involved.
Oh,
Cold brew,
it's
we
the
use
heat, the cold.
Either you use cold ice water or you use room temperature.
And the acidity comes down.
The acidity is controlled,
Right, okay.
yeah,
Okay.
but also based on the grind size of the coffee.
Wow, it is a science,
It's
huh?
a science.
My
This thing,
goodness.
yeah.
Wow.
Okay, so coffee beans. Okay, so you've spoken about Robusta.
Yep.
What about things like Arabica and
Yep.
all the other fancy
So
names?
Arabica right now is the ones that we're drinking at most cafes
Okay.
around the world.
Mine's Arabica, so today.
Wow,
I don't know. I don't know what mine is. Yeah,
Mine came out of a packet. That's all I know.
Nanyang coffee.
so more likely than not, that's Robusta. That's what that was used.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So now, some of the cafes, what they're trying to do is, okay, let's put 70% or 80% Arabica and 20% Robusta
Oh, we can
for
mix.
that kick, for that bitter notes.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Some cafes are doing, some roasters are doing that.
Okay.
Do you recommend it? As in, like, what are your thoughts on that?
For me, I like to drink it 100% pure Arabica,
Okay.
but if the 20% Robusta makes the coffee taste good, I don't mind. I mean, if you don't tell me, then after I drink it, it tastes not bad. Huh? What do you do? I put 10% Robusta in there. Wow.
Well, will you be able to tell now if you have a cup of coffee whether it's a little bit of a mix?
Sometimes you can tell because the bitter notes are really like very ashy, super ashy. Especially if they tell you it's a blend.
So Arabica is Arabica because it's just grown more.
It's grown on the higher altitude.
Okay.
Right? So you need a lot of care when you're farming it. Robusta, you can,
It's like the hardy.
yeah,
bean.
very hardy. You
Yeah.
don't have to worry when you farm it,
You would think more of the coffee houses would use Robusta because it's more common and
Yeah.
it's cheaper, I'm thinking.
Coffee
Yeah,
houses.
way
Sounds
cheaper.
very
Way
nice,
cheaper,
coffee
yeah.
houses. Okay,
Yeah.
we're going to go for a traffic update
What's
and
wrong
then
with coffee house?
I don't know.
Coffee house.
Like very 70s. like.
Yeah,
Is it
yeah,
really?
yeah.
Kiss 92 traffic.
On the AYE towards Tuas, right before Jurong Pier Road exit, look out for a broken down vehicle. Wherever you are today, stay safe.
Good morning and welcome back to The Big Show and The Big Show TV. Earlier on, you heard Hi by Steven Sanchez. And speaking of high, some people, when they drink coffee, they feel a nice high.
A natural
They
high.
need the coffee in the morning to wake
because
them
the
up.
heart rate goes up as well. For some
For
people.
some.
Now, let's talk about strength of coffee for a little bit. Okay, Paul? For example, the capsules. When they say intensity, are they talking about the level of caffeine or are they talking about the
roast.
flavor?
The roast, so basically it's darker, more bitter.
So not caffeine level.
not caffeine level.
Because that's, I think,
The misconception.
yeah.
I always thought that.
So people avoid like an intensity of 11,
11,
or
yeah,
12
yeah,
because
yeah.
they think, oh my goodness,
It's gonna
that's
keep
too
me
much
awake,
caffeine
yeah.
for
Yeah.
me.
That's
But
how
no.
I was
No.
buying it before.
Right.
I always thought, okay, 5 and below.
Yeah.
You know, that was not going to keep me
I
up
think
at
the
night.
majority of people,
Think
you know,
that.
believed that, right?
Yeah.
But so we're talking about the flavor.
Yeah.
So
How
when
interesting.
So when it comes to caffeine level, are all beans made equal?
No.
Okay.
But the people have the misconception that espresso are very strong. I think really I cannot sleep. But you go and drink a cold brew, you lagi cannot sleep.
So
Why is that?
different levels then?
Yeah. So basically, the longer water comes in contact with coffee, the more the caffeine is extracted.
Oh.
So espresso is only like 20, 30 seconds. Whereas for Japanese drip coffee, it could be about a minute and a half to 2.5, and that's more.
Okay.
More caffeine.
You can actually feel a buzz when you're drinking a drip coffee versus an espresso.
Oh,
There's
wow.
a major difference in the buzz that you get.
Oh, wow.
So it's a placebo. When people like drink a espresso, they're like,
But
oh no, I don't want to stay
It does
up.
feel
Yeah.
intense though. Like when I was in Rome, and you know,
Just the
I would
flavour,
walk into
though.
a cafe and I would ask for an espresso, right? Just a quick one.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it's
And it's standing room only, right? You just drink it and then you're
yeah.
out. Yeah.
And you feel right. It's extremely
thick.
would I say bitter? Would
Yeah, it's
bitter
fine.
be
Okay.
correct way to describe an espresso?
For coffee, there are 4 flavors that you can basic coffee taste: sweet, salty, sour, bitter.
Okay.
Oh wow.
These are the
okay.
4.
But the more bitter it is, that does not equate to more caffeine.
No, it
Okay.
just tells you that it was roasted darker,
Yeah.
hotter
Right.
temperature.
Yeah.
So the sweeter it is, less roast.
Less roast. Yeah, we're looking at a mid roast.
Okay. 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 All right. We can
Okay.
continue the
Let's
conversation.
continue this conversation on the Big Show TV. It is 8:11.
Kiss 92 Time Check brought to you by Putian. Putian would like to thank you for your
Okay. So just on that same note, bitter being more roasted, sweet being mid roasted. So what is it? What in order of less roasted? What would it be? Salty or sour first, and then like
if you get it very light roast, then you
Yeah.
get it to be very acidic, which is sour.
sour. Okay. So
Okay.
sour would be at the top of the list. Then
Yeah.
salty or sweet.
Salty actually is when you are doing your extraction of a coffee. It's like a medium roast.
So the sweet and
sometimes you
salty.
can depends how much coffee you pack onto it as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Wow.
So to get a good cup of coffee, right? We're talking about like competition-wise tasting. We are looking at a balanced taste between sweetness, acidity, and bitterness.
no saltiness.
Yeah, we don't
Okay.
talk about saltiness there. But so basically, these are the 3 parameters that you taste in a coffee.
Hmm.
So now you can taste. I mean, your coffees that you have with
Yeah.
in front of you, right?
You don't
Yeah.
approve of them clearly.
yeah, I know.
you can just taste it, and then you can ask yourself: do you taste salty? Do you taste acidity, which is sour, or a bit bitter notes? Do you taste at least some sweetness? We're not talking about saturating sweet, kind of, but very like little mild kind of sweetness you can
Yes,
taste.
I think
taste
that's
bitter.
mine
I taste
today.
bitter. A
It's
little
it's very interesting because you guys are used to black coffee. I have never been on black coffee. I've only been doing it for like 6 weeks.
This
Mine's
guy's
not
a
black.
3-in-1
Mine's-
coffee fella.
Mine's mine's
Yeah.
white with
Yeah,
And
ice.
for
it's
many
only
years.
now that I've discovered that coffee without milk and sugar
Can be good.
suddenly has flavors.
At the age of 68.
Exactly. You know, when we first drink coffee, when we were kids, we introduced the coffee is always with sugar.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Complete
milk.
all
Yeah.
with sugar, instant coffee with
Instant
a bit of
co-
sugar,
yeah.
coffee mate.
Coffee mate.
So
Oh my
because
gosh.
those coffees are bitter, right? So you got to put sugar. But when you are drinking specialty coffee, which is like Arabica, well roasted and all that, well controlled, and the barista makes it proper, you can taste. Let's say for drip coffee, I had one that is the nose, which is the aromas of cantaloupe.
Okay.
And once it's brewed, drip on the drip, when I drank it, I taste watermelon. So that's very interesting. So if you want to taste really, you go to a cafe, they say, oh, you can look at the tasting notes. Sometimes they do have that and say, oh, taste of almond, sweet cherries. and
Chocolate,
molasses.
It's a bit like wine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you put sugar, you just mask everything.
Everything,
right?
yeah.
Right.
So you should drink it black.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Mark, now you have officially
I'm
become a connoisseur.
learning.
So,
I'm
so
learning.
a good you judge a good coffee by how it tastes when it's black. No sugar,
Yeah.
no milk added.
Correct. So when I go to a coffee place and I see what they advertise for their coffee, and I'll always take an espresso first. Once the espresso is well executed, then I will order
A cappuccino or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. That means you'll be really interested in what I've been trying, Like I told you earlier on, right? I've been getting like these almond notes from this, and I think I gave you a I
Sniff.
passed it over and you sniffed it. And did you get like
yeah, I got
an
the
almond
aromatics.
note as well?
Yeah, I got
Yeah.
aromatics of almond notes and also something sweet sugar.
Yeah, and this particular brand, right? The thing is, there are so many different types of blends. So I'm just starting to discover it, and like what you mentioned earlier on, I find it very interesting to sniff it and then to taste it, because they all taste different and from different places around the world.
So with someone like Glenn, who has got a particular brand with multiple blends, so to speak, do I prepare each blend exactly the same way?
Just put water on.
I do. I
no.
prepare
No,
the
no. I
same
see.
way.
Yeah. Do
Different.
What if you
different.
prepare?
So if let's say you bought from this brand and you look at the coffee and it says medium roast,
Okay.
then you bought another batch
Okay.
the following month and it says medium light roast.
Okay.
And you do it the same way,
Yeah.
the coffee is going to taste different.
Oh, is it?
Of course, it will taste different. One, the blend,
Yeah.
right? Different bean components. Second, the roast level,
Right.
right? So medium roast, dark roast, and a medium light roast, you will get, even no matter how you do consistency in terms of the timing, the temperature, the amount of water, all of them will taste different.
Oh, I thought the amount of, because I make like a mug, right?
Yeah.
A coffee mug, but not to the brim.
Right.
Like maybe 3/4 of a coffee mug. So, it's kind of fixed the amount of water I kind of like pour into, the coffee bag that then drips the coffee, right? So I thought the amount of water, that would be
Will affect
consistent
it.
enough.
Right. Yeah. So
But I guess not.
Glenn does his machine. Is it? No,
No,
what do
no,
you
I
do? You
use
do
his
drip.
drip.
You do
His
drip.
drip.
I use a machine in the morning. You use packet.
Packet.
There are so many different ways to prepare coffee. What is the best? Most economical way, because not everyone's going to go out and
Oh my
buy
God.
their machine.
Yeah. Exactly.
And mine takes a while though.
Yeah,
Because
so
the
what's
drip,
what's the best way to get our coffee?
Okay, for me, I would say the best
Home.
fast free would be the Nespresso machine.
okay.
Yay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, why though?
Okay, so
Why would you say that?
Okay, just go through the motion. Turn on the switch. 10 seconds. Heating element is up.
Okay.
Put in the pot. Press the button. You get your coffee.
Yeah.
It's all within 1 minute.
But it's automated, which you are not a fan of,
Yeah,
right?
but if really you're in a rush, like this morning, I was in a rush. I got no time to turn my coffee machine to make my coffee. I just made the Nescafe.
So my
As an
question.
instant coffee.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
my question when that's concerned is these are pods. And as with so many things that come in packets,
What's
do
in
we
it?
really know what's in the pod?
Okay. So basically, pot coffee. Why I don't like Nespresso coffee is not because of anything like the way it functions and all that, but it's because it's only 7 grams of coffee.
in a
7
pod.
grams of coffee.
What's the rest of it?
It's just coffee.
Yeah, but
Coffee
7
cup
grams is
pack.
very little. That's what Paul is saying.
Oh, the pack is
Yes.
only 7. Right, okay.
Yeah,
okay,
so
got it.
in a pot, there's only 7 grams of coffee.
Okay.
So I think Nespresso have also realized that. So they have made a new version.
The
There's a
virtual-
version 2, the virtual.
I'm using
bigger
the
one.
virtual, yeah.
So it spins.
Yeah.
And it gives you a lot of crema.
Crema, yeah.
And the coffee tastes way better. It's not. Initially, I thought hey, it tastes better because of this machine.
The-
attack.
yeah.
But it's not because it's got more coffee.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you're talking 7 grams
Yeah.
are the little
The
miniature
little
ones.
ones are the
Yeah.
ones I'm
Yeah.
using because
Yeah.
I can't seem to let go of my Maestro. I don't know whether you remember the Nespresso Maestro machine.
Yep.
It's red. It looks classic.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it's noisy as shit.
Yeah.
So
And
just, in the morning when I switch it on, right, it wakes
Makes-
the wife up.
And
wakes the
probably
dog up. It's
neighborhood as well.
like it's like, you know,
I
little,
remember when I had those little pod ones, I had to make like 3 because
Yeah,
they
yeah.
were so tiny. They were like they didn't
Exactly.
even fill a cup up.
same.
Yeah.
So there's a new coffee machine, which is the same concept as Nespresso. It's developed and invented, or let's say not invented, but it's designed and created by a Singapore company.
Oh,
I think I might have heard of
Using
this,
Nespresso pods, you can control the temperature and everything and water based on the kind of coffee you get. So let's say today you order a coffee from Australia, a coffee pot from Australia, and they say this is medium roast. And they will suggest to you, okay, what temperature, what setting, that kind of stuff to use if you want to. So this machine is called the morning machine.
The
Okay.
morning machine.
Yeah, you can look
huh?
into it. It's
Okay.
local. It's not very expensive. So basically, you can take control
Okay.
of your Nespresso kind of
but
style.
do I still have to use the small capsules, or can I use the
The
bigger
virtual ones.
capsules?
Still the same.
small
The small
ones,
one,
yeah.
yeah.
Because the
7 grams.
virtual is a special. It rotates at a certain
That's
speed.
a
You know,
patented.
I think I
It's
might have to
patented.
get that.
The virtual.
Is it noisy?
not at all.
No, it's
no.
not expensive.
Yeah, it's not.
It's nice.
We have a question on our Facebook from Om. We have about a minute left. He says he's been experimenting with his Nespresso machine by not buying the pods.
Okay.
He has instead,
Yep.
what he's done is bought the reusable stainless pods which people are selling,
Yep.
and buying the beans, grinding them at home with the kids, and enjoying that whole process, right? So he's asking for a good recommendation of coffee beans, something that's not too sour. And second part of his question is, what's the best way to use reusable pods in the sense of type of beans, pressing, etc.?
Okay.
First one would be the recommendation of beans.
Okay. So if you want to get coffee beans, we are looking at stay away from the African coffee beans because they are usually
Sour.
not sour. Okay, traditionally why they are sour is because they are medium roasted, and because the African coffees have very nice flavor notes,
Okay.
like floral and fruity notes.
I almost
which-
got Kenya and Ethiopia.
Oh, those are nice.
Oh, those from
Yeah,
Nespresso,
really?
those
Okay,
are
I'll
nice.
try.
Yeah.
No,
I've-
not
I-
Nespresso.
Oh, mine
Yeah,
I'm using
yeah.
from there.
But
yeah.
expect acidity.
Okay.
Yeah. But what you can control with is higher temperature water.
Higher temperature water.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Hang
Yeah.
on.
Okay.
Traffic.
Okay, we're going on air.
So we'll talk about the beans again.
Like a skyscraper.
Kiss 92 traffic.
On the CTE towards the SLE after the Moulmein Road exit, look out for a broken down vehicle. Also on the KJE towards the PIE before the Chua Chu Kang Drive exit, a vehicle's having some trouble there. If you spot anything else, our number is 88550920.
Good morning and welcome back to The Big Show and The Big Show TV. Our guest for this morning is Paul T. He's our coffee consultant, certified, as I mentioned earlier on, by the Specialty Coffee Association of America. He is a lead instructor in this field. Now, when we say you're a lead instructor, what exactly are we talking about?
Basically, I mean, qualified to teach, conduct courses and stuff for the coffee community.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
it's-
exactly how long have you been doing this?
Since 2010.
Oh,
So
wow.
about 14 years.
Yeah.
And it is a growing community in Singapore as well,
Big
right? The coffee
community. Yeah,
community. Okay, so we had a question come in on our WhatsApp. If you have any questions for Paul, you can always message in 88550920. Says he loves his whole process of making coffee at home. So he has an espresso machine. He stopped buying the pods because what he does now is he buys reusable stainless steel pods.
Huh? There's such a thing?
Yeah,
Yes,
there is.
yes,
There is. They're the same size and everything, and then you just fill them, right? So he buys the beans, he grinds the beans at home, gets the kids involved with that process. But he wants to know a good recommendation of coffee beans, something that's not too sour, and also wants to know the best way to use the reusable pods in terms of types of beans and pressing.
Okay, so right?
Yeah.
Yeah, So basically, the coffees you should stay away from are the African coffees because they are actually very floral and fruity. So the roasters will tend to roast them to a medium roast. So you will expect acidity.
Which will
Good.
make it sour.
Yeah.
And give
It's
you a
good
stomach ache.
acidity, yeah. So you know, right, in coffee, right, we want to introduce a coffee to someone. Let's say Glenn come to the shop and say, hey, I would like to try the Kenya. So what are the tasting notes? I would not tell Glenn, say, hey, this coffee is going to be sour.
Okay.
We use a very positive term. This coffee is brighter.
Brighter means
brighter means sour.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you want to introduce to your friends, you don't say, hey, this coffee is very nice, no, but it's very sour.
Yeah, that's right.
Then your friend,
quite
never mind
negative.
lah.
sour means like
Yeah.
spoiled.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, spoiled, yeah.
So you say, hey, this coffee is bright, floral and fruity. It's got notes of mango or something. Then your friend's like, wow, curious. Okay, try.
Okay.
Because they may like it.
And then sour, they still scold me after that.
Scold you lah. You say,
Okay.
hey, no, that one is this. Okay.
But but sour really does not mean it's bad, right?
No.
Because for some people, they expect a coffee that is, maybe expensive or whatever, and they don't expect that brightness.
Yeah.
Brightness, yeah.
So what I do is I will take people through from drip to taste more refined tasting notes of coffee. So basically, drip coffee is supposed to taste tea-like.
Oh my goodness, that's the reason why. You know what else I got a note of? Like an Earl Greyish kind of aroma.
Yes.
So because the Japanese came up with the drip coffee, did they?
Yes.
Okay.
So it's a very delicate process. You have to be very disciplined. Parameters are to be very consistent if you can. Yeah.
For all drip coffee.
Yeah. Dosage,
Wow.
temperature, water.
So it's not a run and go in the morning kind of coffee.
Right.
That's
It's
why
a
I find it so
process.
interesting, you know what
So
I
it's
mean?
a process,
Hey,
yeah.
Maybe I've got a good nose. These two
Maybe.
can't smell anything. These two.
Oh, you didn't even let us smell the.
Yeah, I guarantee.
My goodness.
Hey, test
wow.
this one day.
Thank
We go
you,
somewhere,
thank
you test.
Okay.
I think
Okay.
these two are like,
Hey, with my nose, I'll beat all of you. Look at the
that's
size
what
of mine.
you think. Your nose are Dyson, only for Dyson. Of course, I joke. I love my partners. Yeah. Okay, I tell you what, let's continue this conversation on the Big Show TV, shall we? Katie Tunstall is next. Suddenly I See on Kiss 92.
So the terms that you're using, you said sour. You don't use sour.
Yep.
Mean you can say the word bright. You can
Yep.
use the word floral.
Yep.
What about bitter? You don't say bitter, right?
Yeah, I say
So
bitter chocolate.
oh, you say you use bitter
Oh,
chocolate.
got
Okay.
it.
But you see, if it's burnt, you cannot say bitter chocolate. No.
But
I mean, you got to
cheesecake.
use it on the right. Yeah, you have to use it on the right terms for.
The right coffee.
Yeah, because if you say if you taste the coffee, it tastes really burnt and ashy. There's no way you're gonna make yourself look stupid and say, "Hey, this is dark chocolate." But actually, when I taste it, it tastes jalala like burnt.
But burnt ashy mostly will be your, what do you call, Nanyang coffee.
No, even
Other
the
coffees
specialty
can.
coffee also we get that.
Oh,
Yeah,
Because
I
interesting.
see.
Okay.
So, a question coming through on Facebook again. Why are some coffees better as an espresso, others better as a latte? So, I think what the question is, how do I pick the right coffee for the right coffee, if you know what I mean?
Okay, so when you say, for me, it's quite simple. An espresso tastes good. Then what I do is I try to get it calibrated for milk. When I say calibrated means, when I taste espresso, I always taste a single espresso shot.
Single
Yeah.
shot, right?
I don't
Okay.
do a double shot.
Okay.
A single shot. Then when you use a single shot and goes with a latte, then you go, it doesn't. It tastes very milky.
Yeah.
So very simple. Do a double
Double
much.
shot for a latte.
So it's
yes.
too much milk.
So basically, what we say is the coffee has to cut through the milk, right? You don't want it to be too milky.
Yeah.
But of course, there'll be some customers who ever say that, "Hey, can I don't want the coffee to be too strong. Can you make it more milk for me?" Yeah,
Of course, yeah.
But
we can
is there a specific type of roast that I should be using for an espresso? A specific type of roast for a latte? A specific type of roast for this?
Good. So before Paul goes into that, I just want to, cite a few examples. Like, okay, I love my latte from Starbucks. I know they don't have like the best coffee in the world, but I'm so used to it because I've always gone to Starbucks, and every time I'm at Starbucks, I will have just this, either an Americano, right, if I don't feel like milk, or I'll have a latte, which automatically is a double shot. Okay, so I feel, satisfied. Now, I used to have a Kith just below where I lived. And
Yeah.
I used to go, to Kith every morning, right? Bring my dog, go down there, sit down, have my latte. And the difference between Kith and these other places that I go to is, for them, it's a triple shot when it comes to a latte. So when you order a latte, it's automatically a triple shot. But of course, anyone who's going there for the first time, they will tell the individual it's a triple shot. Now, is a triple shot for a latte too much?
Yes.
Okay.
And I think why they're doing a triple shot is because it could be because of the cup volume. Like
Right, the size.
The size of the
right.
cup.
Actually,
Regular? Or was it bigger?
maybe
Kith is
slightly
Maybe
bigger.
bigger.
Slightly, just
Maybe
slightly
they're just
bigger.
making
That's
up.
one. Two, it could be the coffee is roasted. It doesn't cut through the milk. Yeah, that's why he's putting a triple
Okay.
shot.
And this is what I noticed, because it's been the same. I just went down to another one of their branches somewhere in the town area, and I ordered it, and I realized something. It's a triple shot, but it's slightly bright.
So definitely that coffee is on acidic side,
Right.
and it probably is very tame when you put milk into it. So they have to put a triple shot.
Okay.
Wow.
But
all
see,
these
the problem
terms.
with when you put a triple shot, right? It's like you're creating this. You're not creating a solution. You're just
Making up.
giving
for-
the same thing.
Yeah.
You had the same problem, and you're just elevating it to say, "Hey, come here. Here also same problem.
Yeah.
You add one more shot, still the same problem."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is why I don't know why I keep on. I mean, I'm just used to it. I don't know if any one of you has gone to a Starbucks and had their latte. Somehow I don't know why. Maybe it's an acquired taste all these years.
I can't remember.
To me,
what
it's just a Starbucks latte is just comfort.
I think so.
It's comfort.
I mean, nothing satisfies me more than
Than a Starbucks latte.
latte from
It's just
Starbucks.
comfort.
I just want to say that the first time I went to Italy was Milan, and I went into a cafe and I asked for a latte, and I got a hot cup of milk.
Yes.
So ever if you go to Italy,
Italy, don't ask
you
for a
ask
latte.
for a cafe macchiato
Yeah.
instead of a latte, because that's
Oh.
what it means. It means milk.
Yeah, latte.
They literally gave me a cup of milk. I'm like, I was confused, and then they explained that if you
Yeah.
want a cafe latte as what we know it,
Macchiato.
it's a cafe macchiato.
Macchiato. Because
Yeah.
you asked for same thing
Latte
happened
is
to me in
milk.
Rome.
Yeah.
And the girl looked at me and went,
You just
"Latte?"
want milk?
And me and my arrogance. Yes, please. Okay, so getting back to the question.
Yeah.
Are there specific roasts I should use for espresso for different coffees?
Okay. So for espresso, nowadays like for me, I still go. I would be daring enough to go for a medium roast. You must have the knowledge to be able to manipulate your coffee to make it taste good. So for like a medium roast, I would grind it finer. Okay. I would brew at maybe slightly higher temperature, but maybe a lower pressure, for extraction. Then also depends on the taste. I mean, nowadays, I've also experimented with brewing my espresso at a lower temperature, like 86. Typical espresso would be 92.6, 93.
Oh wow.
I'm going down to 86. Yeah.
Okay.
You see, for the rest of us, right? I mean, how would we know about these temperatures?
You need to get
Okay,
a
let's-
thermometer as
No,
well.
and you need that special machine.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Cleans the cups.
Going back on it.
Kiss 92 traffic.
Okay, a quick look on the roads tells me that on the CTE towards the AYE is having a little bit of trouble there. An accident at the PIE Jurong exit. Other than that, it's the usual peak hour traffic. Stay safe.
Welcome back to The Big Show and The Big Show TV. Our guest for this morning is Paul T, our coffee consultant. And we were talking about the different temperatures that we use when we make different types of coffee.
Coffee, yeah.
So Paul, talking about the temperature of the water, for example, right?
Yep.
I mean, for most of us, we don't have a professional
Yep.
coffee machine. Then how do we know what temperature is right? For example, if we have one of those machines that uses capsules,
Yeah.
the temperature in those machines, is it set?
It's set, but what you can do is, see this, you must have knowledge.
There are tricks.
Yeah. So you flush why you flush before you use is because there'll be remnants and residue
Of the old coffee.
Of the old coffee. It's quite scary because I told you, right, when I first started for hobby, I went to buy a super auto machine. You know, that machine, in that 1 week, I actually clean it, right? I open up, my God, I got a shock. Fungus all over.
What?
No.
Because you know why? The coffee grind, then the coffee powders
stays, the
around the
remnants, yeah.
extraction area. So the remnants.
Ew. When was the last time you
Angel
cleaned
is
your
drinking
machine? No.
fungus
I clean my
every
machine every
day.
week. Oh, rubbish. You have a machine as well. No, but so how? What,
So
every
just
day
flush.
we
So
need
you
to
just flush it.
You
Every
flush-
day.
I always flush before my cup.
Okay. All right, I don't
one
do
is
it
to
every day.
clear the previous grounds.
Yeah.
You don't believe when you go home later, you just put a cup there, you just press flush,
And it'll be
you just do
yellowish.
an extraction, right?
Yeah,
you will
yeah.
see. You will see the color of the water.
It's brown. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah. It's not
Yellowish
coffee
brown.
color, but yeah.
That's one. Two is when we flush, we actually the brew head is very hot, so the water, some of the water has been there for a while.
Oh, right. Okay.
So we want to flush it so that temperature, when the next batch of water coming, when you're extracting,
even.
It's even and proper.
I see.
Got it.
Wow.
Wait, okay, so
Who
we
knew?
talk about temperature of water.
Yeah.
What about temperature of milk? I have a frother, so
Yeah.
I have it warm.
Yeah.
But does it affect if you pour milk straight from the fridge? Because a lot of people do.
From the
or-
fridge is the best.
Oh, really?
The reason why is because that it gives, the colder it is, it gives the frothing machine more time to texturize your milk and to do the necessary for the foam.
Oh no,
and
no,
stuff.
mine is cold from the fridge. It goes
Yeah.
into the frother.
Yeah.
But I'm saying people pour milk into their coffee, straight into their coffee.
Oh,
Does that
then
affect it?
that's affected. It affects the. I mean, the old days, right?
Yeah.
We go and drink those crappy coffee from the hotel kind, and then they
You
give
pour
you
the
cream,
milk,
you
yeah.
pour the
Yeah,
milk.
yeah.
Well, you can't do anything. I mean, you just want to add milk, right? You don't
Yeah.
want to drink. Okay, the reason why you froth your coffee, the milk is because you're actually creating the kind of drink that you want, which is maybe the froth for a cappuccino or latte. That's one. Two, you're actually steaming the milk. The right temperature is 55 to 65. This will caramelize the sugars in the milk. That's why you don't have to add sugar. You drink it naturally sweet.
Oh,
Right.
I did
I
not
think
know
we kind of
that.
like took the cue from, tea drinkers. Like, in England, for example, they don't, when they have milk on the side, they always say the milk needs to be warm.
Warm, yeah.
It cannot be cold. So I guess we're applying that to
Okay,
coffee as well.
let me.
in terms of the
My
cream.
grandmother used to say that your milk always had to be warm, otherwise it soured your drink, whether it was coffee or tea.
Not true.
Not true.
Because cold milk into a hot drink.
No.
Oh,
No.
wives' tale, maybe.
I don't know.
But it
That's
would
what-
change the
that's what Grandma
temperature of
used
your
to tell
Change the
coffee.
us.
temperature
Change
for
the
sure.
temperature.
Which is good
yeah.
lah. Then it's like a pan shao. Right? I mean, these days when we order coffee from,
Yeah, yeah.
the Al Copio, from like places like Toast Box or Nanyang or whatever,
yeah.
if we don't want it to be too hot because
Yeah.
we want to
Yeah.
drink it a little faster, then we go like pan shao.
Yeah.
So should coffee be served at a temperature where I can just down it straight away? or-
100%.
Oh, really? It shouldn't be too hot.
That's for specialty coffee, but for the Nanyang coffee, they like it to be very hot.
Ah, okay. So specialty coffee has to be able to be drunk straight away.
Okay, let's talk about some of our coffee joints here in Singapore next on The Big Show TV. Ariana Grande, here's The Boy Is Mine on Kiss 92.
Yeah, so coffee joints. Let's not talk about the ones we don't like. Let's
close
talk
with
about the
coffee
ones
joints.
we like.
Hey, do we have the settle ohms question first?
There's the second part. I think
The
we
second
haven't
part?
The second part that he asked was
What kind of coffee and stuff like that?
What kind of?
I haven't told him what coffee to go
he
get.
said, oh yes, okay. Tell
Okay.
him what kind of coffee.
So the coffee that you should consider getting is one. If you want to get nice flavors, like you get some bitter notes, you get some nutty flavors and sweetness, go for a blend. But if you are the kind that say, "Hey, I want chocolatey, nutty," then go for the Brazil.
okay.
Oh!
Brazil.
I
Okay.
got Brazil at home
Okay.
as
Well,
well.
and he was saying best way to use the reusable pods in terms of
Okay,
beans.
the
pressing and stuff.
reusable pots. One of the key thing you must remember is that the pot inside has to be dry. If it's slightly damp,
There'll be fungus.
no, the coffee powder will
stick.
just stick, and then that will inhibit the extraction of the coffee.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
But I mean,
okay.
since you mentioned fungus just now, even this you better wash it
Clean,
properly.
yeah, and
Clean,
dry
properly.
properly,
Yeah,
properly.
and dry
So
properly.
so flush your espresso machine like for 1 or 2 espresso cups. Throw away the water, or until you see the water is clear. Then you start to do your extraction, and at the same time, it also helps to bring your temperature to the right temperature of the machine.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I need to go do that at home
When
then.
you
Okay,
drink
so-
coffee, don't be a water
Oh my
waster.
gosh. Okay, so coffee places. Again, don't talk about the places we don't like. Talk about the places that you can recommend.
Starbucks.
What could you,
You know,
recommend?
You know the funny thing about Starbucks is like all of us actually have grown up even being to Starbucks.
Yeah,
And the first time we go to Starbucks is like, wow, a luxury.
Of course.
So it's not about the coffee, but more like the atmosphere,
community.
the culture, the community, the music, the big glass windows, the light, natural light that's
Yeah.
coming in.
Yeah.
It's this whole thing, you know. But now, if you're telling me that, hey, you know, the coffee is, but have you tried Starbucks Reserve?
No.
Starbucks Reserve is nice. I tried it in
must go.
Kale.
Oh,
Yes,
really?
I tried it in Kale. Yeah.
I will have to say, you know, the level of baristas have actually grown, and they are more meticulous.
Okay.
They are more. They're able to talk to you about the coffee.
Okay.
They
So
are
they're more
able-
trained.
They're more trained, more articulate, and the machines they use are higher end, and they are not like the auto machines. They are like, you know,
Almost
you see
manual.
them prepare the coffee right in front of you. Even the drip pour over, they'll do it right in front of you.
Wait, we don't have any Starbucks
We do.
reserves
Yeah,
here?
Marina
the nearest
Bay
one
Sands.
is United Square.
Oh, there's one in United
Yes,
States.
yeah.
Square. Hey,
yeah.
that's
Okay.
yeah, I'm around there quite
Yeah.
often.
Okay.
Yeah.
United Square.
Just
Okay.
Thompson
And it's
Road
called
and stuff.
Starbucks Reserve.
Yes, it's
didn't know
outside
that.
by itself. It's one unit. It's like
Oh, the
yeah,
Starbucks
the glass
there.
one, the big
Oh,
glass.
glass
the
one.
one facing the
Yeah.
front of the
Yeah,
right. Okay.
that Starbucks has been there for the longest
I
time,
didn't
but
know
now
it
it's
was a
Starbucks
reserve.
Reserve.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was a reserve now. Okay.
If you go there, you can try the nitro coffee. Have you tried nitro coffee?
I've
I've
never
heard of
tried it.
nitro
I've heard
coffee.
of it. Never
Nitro.
tried it.
Wait, nitro coffee is cold coffee, is it? Nitro brew.
Nitro brew,
Nitrogen, so
yes.
it looks like Guinness.
Oh.
Yes.
Seriously?
The
It does,
mouthfeel
yeah.
is very nice.
Don't put milk, Angel.
No.
The coffee, every time she'll put milk.
Why are
see,
you
even
pointing
in
at me?
her-
Yeah,
Never mind,
yeah.
cold one, it's okay.
I use my milk.
I
What's wrong?
smelled your coffee just now. I'm like,
Kopi
like
susu.
what Paul said. I think it's very light. There's
It's-
more milk.
It's oat milk,
Than
so
anything.
yes.
I like oat milk also.
It is oat milk.
Ah, speaking of oat milk,
Ah.
so
Yes.
you've got oat milk and you've got oat milk barista. So the reason why people use the barista is because they put something in the oat milk. Is it? Because the normal oat milk tastes horrible.
Yeah, it does.
Then the barista oat milk, wow, so nice and like
It's frothy.
creamier
It's
and-
yeah.
So do you know anything about?
I have no idea,
oat
but
milk?
I will investigate that because I know the people quite well. At my favorite oat milk is Oatside.
Oat side. Do I use oat side?
So,
Must try Oatside.
I use Otis, I think. if I'm not
Otis
mistaken.
is good. Yeah, I
I've
use
got oat
Oatly
side as
Try
well.
oat
I use Oatly
I've
as
got
well.
tiny little
Yeah.
The small ones,
packs
yeah.
of oat side.
So basically, it's typically like another thing that I want to ask you guys.
Mm.
What sort of water you use to? How do you make your coffee? Straight off from the tap?
yeah.
From the machine, you use the water thing
You?
here, right?
I've got a
No,
I've got a
no.
water dispenser. It's Living Care, so it's got like cold and hot water. I think it might be. There's an alkaline water option, but I don't think I use
Yeah. So
the alkaline water.
Mine's filtered,
Should I use alkaline
filtered
water?
water.
Here,
But
here I
definitely
get it
filtered,
off
I
the
mean.
machine. Here at home, it just comes off the tap into a kettle
Okay.
boiling.
Coffee and tea, 99% is water,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So if you put tap water into it, you're gonna get that kind of
Tap water
remnant
taste.
taste. So filtered water is important. And the other thing you should not use is distilled water
Okay.
because magnesium needs to be around for coffee and tea to taste good.
So I don't know if I use that machine. Is it
Don't know.
distilled water or what?
It may be. I don't
I
know.
have no idea. You better check the
Check, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
If not, very simple. Just buy the pitcher with the filter.
Yeah,
and
that's
filtered
the
water.
one. That's the one I have.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
It makes a difference. If not, the next time what we can do is we can put some water here, filtered and non-filtered, and let you all taste. You will taste the difference. 100%.
I mean, I know my taste buds are quite sensitive. I don't know about these two.
Those two nose got problem, you said.
Maybe the tongue also got
No,
problem.
hey.
Excuse me.
Careful now.
You know, I'm just teasing.
So you're saying the jugs are the best. Mine is the jug, but I can't remember what the brand is.
I like jugs.
Yeah, just.
We know, Glenn.
Okay, Glenn. Oh my God. Don't worry, I heard you.
But going
Okay,
back
wait,
to
wait.
yesterday,
Okay,
how
no,
we-
wait, I want to ask you a question about flavored coffee.
Yep.
Because I buy my coffee pods. I have the caramel, I have the hazelnut, I've got this and that. What is the process that goes into that? What are the additives that go into it? Should we
Probably-
be careful?
No, nah.
It's okay.
Yeah, some of them use natural. Some use already kind of sugar with natural products mixed together.
Because like in Starbucks, they use the pumps of syrup, right, to make
Yep,
that coffee
yep,
flavored.
yep.
But the pods also have flavored
Yep,
coffee.
yep.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you like flavored coffee, there's one I highly recommend. It's very nice, but it's already ground, so you have to make it as a drip, or you can use it for French
Percolator.
press.
French press. Okay.
yeah,
What is
yeah.
it?
Lion Kona coffee, vanilla macadamia.
LIONKONA.
Uh,
Or CL.
LION, Lion Kona, KONA.
Kona. Vanilla Madagascar.
Vanilla
What do you say?
Macadamia.
Macadamia.
Madagascar.
Macadamia, Madagascar. It's close.
Okay. Going on air. One last talk set. I'm going to talk about the big four coffee joints here in Singapore.
Crowd is jumping, pump up the jam, pump it up while your feet is stomping, and the gym is pumping. Look ahead, the crowd is jumping.
Coil Ray and David Guetta make my day. Coil Ray is kind of like fizzled out. My Coil Ray.
She's
I
no
used to
longer
love
yours?
Coil Ray. You know, the only thing is, I think Coil Ray is a little too daring for
your liking?
Not for my liking. I
Oh.
love it that
Oh,
she's
okay.
daring.
So
too
But
daring for what?
people, she's too daring for
The
the
world.
masses. I think.
Right,
You know,
okay.
that's why. You know, she's not.
She's
being-
not the masses. Maybe she would never set out to be
The
a star
masses,
for the
yeah.
masses. You know,
Could
like
be.
Taylor
It's
Swift
rather
is the
quiet
masses.
now, right? I mean, 2 or 3 hits, but anyways, it's Glenn Angel and the Flying Dutchman together with Paul T, our coffee consultant, and we've been having a very good time talking about coffee beans, coffee machines, the different roasts, and we end off today's session with talking about coffee joints. And so, I'm thinking like the big four coffee joints, just like the big four, football teams
Yeah.
in the Premier League.
Yeah.
In terms of the big four coffee joints here in Singapore, would you say that the top two is Starbucks and the
Coffee
Coffee Bean
Bean.
and Tea Leaf?
I would say Starbucks for sure. Coffee bean and tea leaves, they've actually dwindled.
Okay.
Okay.
But would they be in like the top four?
Popularity you're talking about? Popularity.
I mean, because
okay.
everywhere you go, you see either Starbucks,
Starbucks or Coffee Bean.
Coffee Bean,
Yeah.
tea
Coffee
leaf.
Bean and Tea Leaf. But there are new players coming up.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah.
So if we're talking about two of these popular brands that Singaporeans know and love over the years, both for the coffee or for their breakfast,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
whatever the reason is, who would the other two, would you say, that will make up the top four?
We're
in
talking about it's
Singapore?
called mass coffee, right? Okay. So I think the other one that's coming in quite strong is from China, actually.
From
Luckin,
China.
Luckin
China.
Coffee.
Coffee.
Luckin
Luckin
Coffee.
Coffee.
Luckin
yeah.
Coffee.
Luckin.
Yeah.
Luckin.
Oh, I've never heard of Luckin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're popping up in
They are
quite a few
kind of like
places.
the Starbucks of
China.
China.
Oh.
Yeah.
How many outlets are there in Singapore now?
I don't know.
I've
in
not
Singapore.
heard of it.
Yeah.
But I
there's
have seen
there's
a
one
few.
in Imperial Mall. Yeah.
Okay.
So they're app driven. The
I
way
see.
you order your coffee is through the app and stuff like that, and they encourage you to get the app, and they give you free coffee and stuff like that.
Luckin. You've tried?
So there are quite a
I
few.
tried,
There's
but
1, 2, 3.
I
No.
did not try. They claim that it's by World Barista Champions blend and all that stuff, which I
You're still
No,
trying to
you-
find out
you-
if there's any credibility.
exactly.
area.
So you don't put the names down, you don't put the faces down.
Oh, right.
How would I?
How would
know?
you
Yeah.
know?
So there are
Yeah.
20 outlets in Singapore, including
Already?
Ngee City and Guoco Tower, Collyer Quay, a few places.
Luckin.
Lucky.
Yeah, I've been to the one in
LUC.
Guoco Tower.
Okay, so that's number 3. And then what's number 4?
Number 4.
Arabica is coming up as well. I
In no
feel.
particular order. Lah.
No
I
order,
wanna
no
say,
order at all.
Arabica is quite different from them.
Okay.
Yeah, Arabica is. They are more like specialty.
You consider them specialty, not masses.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they have a few outlets coming.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if not that, then what? Your coffee shop coffee.
Okay, never mind. How about this? Because I did put Paul on the spot.
Yeah.
Your top 3 here in Singapore. Your favorite.
Not masses, just your favorite.
Your
Yeah.
favorite coffee places.
One would be Nylon Coffee,
Nylon.
I've not
Okay, yeah,
heard
I've
of
heard
this
of
place.
Nylon
Everton
coffee.
Park.
Oh, nice.
Everton.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
I
where's
heard
Spottiswoode
Everton
Park?
Park.
Yeah.
It's right below HDB.
Nylon
So
coffee.
this
okay.
this was my ex.
Oh, Everton Park near the
Yeah.
Bukit Paso
Near
area. is it?
Spottiswoode, yes.
Yeah.
Spottiswoode.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Bukit
Yeah.
Paso is on the right. If I continue past the traffic light, Everton Park should be on the left side.
Yes,
is that,
correct.
Is that it?
Yes, yes,
Ah,
yes.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, and then what else?
2 more.
The other one would be.
So we took you off the spot and just put you in another
Another
spot.
spot, huh?
I thought it would be
Back on the
easy
spot,
for
yeah.
Paul.
No, come on.
No.
You're thinking of having a coffee this morning. Where would you go? Nylon is closed. Where would you be going next?
Home.
I actually I hardly go out for my coffees, but
If you were to meet someone.
I will go to. There's one at. Let me think.
Okay.
Let me think.
Glenn.
I tell you, I'll let you think. and then you text me, and then
also let you go.
yeah, and we'll let everyone know.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's been so much fun talking coffee, with you, Paul. Perhaps maybe we could explore other areas in which we can cater to the coffee community, because I think many people have been enlightened by today's session.
I'd like to try that test with the filtered water and non-filtered
Okay,
water. I
we'll
gotta
do it
say,
next session if we
Yeah,
have a next
at
session.
At your house
Absolutely.
or what?
that'd be quite something.
Okay, we've been speaking to our coffee consultant, Paul T. Thank you so much, Paul. Always a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you.
Singapore's Kiss 92.